Have you ever noticed how some people seem to always be in the right place at the right time? They make money when everyone else is panicking, and yet they aren't geniuses, and they don't have secret insider access. You've probably looked at them and thought, how do they do it? Well, I'm Clara Morgan, and today I want to show you why that happens, and why it could happen for ordinary people like you, too. Because the truth is, history has a pattern. Events repeat. Opportunities show up in cycles. And when you understand the rhythm, you don't need luck. You just need a clear plan. But here's the catch. Most people never see it coming. And when it hits, they're frozen, stuck, watching while others quietly walk away with life-changing gains. By the end of this video, you'll see what to watch for, how to prepare, and why timing is everything. Imagine this. It's early 2008. The housing market is booming. Everyone is feeling confident, buying bigger houses, borrowing more, believing prices will always go up. Then it crashes. Millions lose everything overnight. But a small group of people, they knew something was off. They acted. They made millions. And most importantly, they weren't special. They just recognized a pattern and prepared. Fast forward a decade, stocks soar, crypto explodes, tech companies dominate. Each time, ordinary people panic or sit on the sidelines, while a few quietly profit. Why does this happen? Because most of us think opportunity looks obvious. We wait for headlines, for the right moment, for the confirmation everyone else already has. But the moment to act, when millions can be made, is usually hidden. It's subtle, it's uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it works. So, here's the insight I want you to hold on to. Opportunities that create real wealth often appear during uncertainty, chaos, or fear. Not when everyone is confident, not when the news is glowing. Think of it this way. When something feels risky to most people, it's actually when the upside is the largest. Risk and reward are connected, but the trick is knowing the difference between true risk and perceived risk. Most people avoid both. They see risk and freeze. They see opportunity and dismiss it. That's why ordinary people often miss extraordinary chances. But here's the good news. You can train yourself to recognize the difference. You can prepare mentally, emotionally, and financially to act when the moment comes. And you don't need to be an expert, a genius, or wealthy already. Let me give you a concrete example. In 2020, the world went into lockdown. Markets tanked, businesses closed, uncertainty everywhere. Most people were terrified. They sold what they had, thinking the bottom would keep falling. But a small group of people, they saw something else. They noticed patterns, government support, shifts in consumer behavior, and tech companies that were positioned to thrive. Instead of panicking, they acted strategically. They bought stocks and companies that were struggling in the short term, but poised for growth. They invested in real estate in areas where prices had dipped, but demand would recover. By the end of the year, those same people had significant gains. Millions for some, just by paying attention and acting differently than the crowd. And here's the key. They weren't gambling. They didn't rely on luck. They relied on understanding the cycle, preparing in advance, and acting while fear was paralyzing everyone else. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Clara, that sounds great, but what if I'm wrong? What if I lose money? That fear is natural. In fact, it's a sign that you're in the right mindset. Fear means you're about to step out of the crowd. Fear means you're considering something that most people avoid. And that's exactly where opportunity hides. Here's what most people don't realize. When millions are made, it often comes from small, calculated moves, not risky bets. It's about positioning, patience, and understanding the mechanics of the moment. Most people see only headlines. They see volatility, chaos, uncertainty, but they don't see the hidden signals, the early indicators, the subtle shifts that tell you when action is profitable. So, what can you do to be ready when the next big moment hits? Step 1. Observe, don't react. Watch markets, industries, and trends without jumping in immediately. Notice when things feel unstable. Notice where conventional wisdom is telling people to be safe. Those are your signals. Step 2, prepare your resources in advance. That doesn't mean going all in on risky bets. It means having liquidity, flexibility, and a plan. When the opportunity comes, you need to be ready to act quickly. Step 3, think long term. The people who make millions aren't chasing instant gains. They're thinking about the months and years ahead. They plan for recovery, for growth, for the patterns that repeat. Step 4, use mental rehearsal. Imagine scenarios where the world shakes up, where markets drop or opportunities appear unexpectedly. Ask yourself, if this happens tomorrow, what would I do? Practicing these decisions mentally will make real action easier. Step 5, start small. You don't need to risk everything. Test moves with small stakes first. Learn the mechanics, build confidence. Then scale when the signals are clear. Let's visualize it. Picture a swing. The crowd is at one end, afraid to move. That's the safe, conventional side. They're hesitant, nervous, unsure. The other end is open, seemingly risky. But if you push off at the right moment, timing the swing perfectly, you soar. You reach heights the crowd never even imagines. Opportunity works like that swing. Most people see risk and stay put. But if you position yourself wisely and act at the right moment, you can move farther than anyone thought possible. Here's the aha moment. Ordinary people can make extraordinary gains, not because they're lucky or smarter, but because they prepare, observe, and act differently than the crowd. They embrace the discomfort that most avoid. They see opportunity where others see chaos. It's not magic. It's not a secret. It's understanding patterns, timing, and psychology. And here's the twist. The next opportunity is already forming right now. You just need to know how to recognize it before everyone else does. Why does this matter for you? Because in life, timing is often more important than talent. Knowing when to act and when to wait changes outcomes more than skill alone. Millions are made by ordinary people who saw the moment clearly and were ready. And it's not just about money. It's about confidence, peace of mind, freedom, the ability to make choices because you were prepared, not because you're reacting out of fear or desperation. Every cycle in history, every market, every trend has given the same lesson. Most people miss it because they follow what feels safe. The few who understand the pattern, they walk away with life-changing results. So, what's the takeaway? Pay attention, prepare, watch for subtle signals, train yourself to differentiate true risk from perceived risk. And when the moment comes, don't hesitate. Ordinary people make millions when they notice what others miss and when they act while fear is still holding everyone else back. You don't need to predict the future perfectly. You just need to understand patterns, prepare, and be willing to step forward when opportunity whispers, not when it shouts. Remember, it's rarely obvious. That's why it works. That's why you need to be ready. I'll leave you with this thought. The world will always throw moments of fear, chaos, and uncertainty at you. Those moments aren't just challenges. They're signals. Signals for growth, for opportunity, for change. If you notice them, prepare, and act with clarity, you can step ahead of the crowd. You can create results most people only dream about. And when the next moment comes, you'll be ready. I'm Clara Morgan, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore how to spot these patterns before the headlines even appear.